Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel where you don't have to be a Gladiator Beast fan, but it sure does help if you are. Today, you see right here in front of me, I have a deck list. A deck list that did just do something specific, but not so much the deck list. I have a person here who did something with the deck list. Who are you and what did you do?
Hello, my name is Mike King, and I topped Ultimate Time Wizard in Austin, Texas at the WCQ.
That's right, over at
Finish fourth.
US Nats. I guess a lot of people are probably wondering about this. I'm also in that group of those people that have just a lot of questions about the list. Some interesting things. And what really pops out is you're on the double Darius, but no Prisma. Certainly, the main deck Airbellum is odd. Choosing double Book of Moon, but you're only on two Book Moon, but yet you're running double Econ, which is strange. Double Shrink, which is also not totally strange, but definitely a little abnormal to be on two of them, especially when you're only on two books. The two Respites is also odd. I think Ready Area has kind of become more of a main deck card at two of, as a lot of us have really come to accept it of. And you're on Noblemen's over Close Forest. So basically, what I want this to be is, if you could just go through your rounds, what did you play? And then, actually, before that, go through the card choices. What made you play some of the choices? And how you came to certain numbers, specifically the two respites. I know I'm a little curious about, as the numbers tend to lead towards two respite being just the wrong number in general. And then what were your rounds like? Take us through, what happened over there. Basically, I want to be quiet and we just want to hear you talk.
All right, I know the biggest curious thing is about the two respites, and definitely probably about the Airbellum. The respites, little thing I had like in testing and whatnot, and my friend Terry, I got to thank him for letting me use his beautiful glad beast. I have this like lower, but
Oh, do your
two
shout
beautiful
outs.
glad
Do your
beasts.
shout outs too, man.
Oh, oh yeah, definitely. Terry Crow for the beautiful deck.
Thank you,
Freaking
Terry.
Rusty Brown. He ended up getting our Airbnb, taking care of that.
Thank
And
you, Rusty.
also my buddy Jason Van Buskirk, JCVB TCG on TCG Player, of
Can't
course.
forget Jason.
He's basically helped me, supply me with these cards, driving me down. And also my buddy Bo. I mean, he's up and coming vendor eventually, but he kept me motivated the whole time. And also, I was motivated though, especially because there's this guy at my locals, freaking Brandon, known him for years. I kept on trekking with his deck, and then he was like, "You need to play a real deck." So I was like, "I'll show you it's a real deck." So I went ahead and did the thing and topped. He motivated me the
Dang.
most.
Let's go,
He still
Bo,
says
and
I need to play a real deck.
let's go, Bo and Brandon. Wherever you are, you learned your lesson.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but the Arabellum though, I was gonna tell you about that too. Like, I know there's actually kind of weird though, because some people are like, oh, why are you playing the Arabellum? The Arabellum, I kind of like, I wanted to play Tuner, and I was like, I don't want to play Gale. So we are thinking about it, and it was like, I go get Arabellum and make the cat and do it instant. Of course we got some of those broken level 6 synchros like with Goyo and Brio, and those actually did come up during the tournament where I was like, oh, we can make these broken synchros. It's pretty good.
They are good.
But
They're very good.
yeah, which I can remember my matchups. I can't remember exactly in which order,
Oh, you're good. You're good.
except yeah, because I played my matchups were against three Blackwings, one Vayu, a Christia Sworn, a Twilight, Amaryllis, and the of course the Frog Synchro,
Yeah.
which he was my only loss in Swiss.
Oh, you played him in
And
Swiss and then again in top,
yes, it was.
and he got
I
you in
mean,
top too. Hate to see it.
yeah, it sucked. I mean, you think, oh man, that's our best matchup, but that deck. I mean, the way he piloted the Frog Synchro deck, because a lot of people are like, ooh, that's Frog Monarchs. Is like
No.
what I've seen was like being able to make all the busted synchros and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, I get it. But yeah, he was my only loss, and my Amaryllis the one Amaryllis I played, he also top aided as well.
Ooh, so you
So
played
I
some.
mean,
The further you went, the better the opponents got. As it goes.
he was actually like I can't remember. I think me and him played the third round, the Amaryllis guy. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I'm terrible with names. But we played and it was a pretty exciting match. End up squeaking it out. But
Amaryllis guy,
I
wherever you're at, if you could leave a comment, let us know.
yeah, I mean, especially we do it with most. I mean, most of my games. There's a lot of them. Most of my matchups went like 3 games. I lost a lot of dice rolls.
Yo, same. I went 1-9 through the weekend on die rolls.
Yeah,
It was terrible.
And like even, I mean, and the times I won the dice rolls, I ended up losing. So it was like, it's like, oh, it sucks. But that's Yu-Gi-Oh. Sometimes your luck is a little bit better. But I was going back to the matchup scores. Said 3 Blackwing, 1 Vayu Tur. Oh yeah, I did already did all that. My bad.
You're good, man. You're good. This is your video.
Oh yeah, and did I mention I played the final round? I ended up playing against Twilight, which I was actually surprised. That was like 7-1, considering I was like I only ran across one other like Torn variant, and I played like I think it was Christius one.
Yeah.
Which that guy, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I tried to shoot at him. He ended up like basically like winning game 1. I ended up like reverse 2-0ing him, which was kind of like I thought it was nuts though because I trapped dust shoot him and I was like, oh, he won't get to those fairies, and then he, you know how it goes. They mill and then boom.
They always mill 4, exactly 4. It happens every time.
And every single Vayu player and Blackwing player, you're always gonna see Dad every game.
Out of the 7 games I played, I forget, it was either 3 or 4 of them, I got Dad OTK'd. So I played 1 Blackwing, 1 Diva Hero or something like that, and then 1 Vayu. And, same thing. 3 of like the 7 games I played, just random Dad OTKs.
And you're just sitting there like, I mean, of course, even in the, like, when we did the 3rd and 4th playoff against Vi, because I played, that was my 3rd and 4th match, to see if I, win something, but, I finished 4th and you don't get nothing for 4th, which kind of sucks, but,
Oh, I know. I've been there. I got 4th and I walked away with 20 tickets.
You got 20 tickets? I got like 10 tickets.
I know. They actually, I think it was a week ago, they did it to where they lowered the amount of tickets that you got for each placement. So, I think Fraser Smith got first. I believe he got 30 tickets. However, the first place at Nats, I think it was 16 tickets.
Ooh, that seems crazy. Or even, I thought the bigger the crowd, the bigger the prizes,
Well, there's no conversation to be had about how just terrible prizes are in general. And we admit that we play out of the love of the game, not for the prize support. But yeah, it sounds like you played just meta all day long. Fair to say.
Yeah, basically.
Let's kind of go into these card choices, because again, you spoke a little bit on the Airbellum. Obviously, that does open up synchro plays, and I think most players, not that we think as Glad players, not that I inherently think Airbellum's just bad, but when Airbellum could potentially be, Prisma, I would 10 out of 10 times opt for this to be Prisma, even though it does kind of open up your plays a little bit more, and certainly, like you said, Brio and Goyo are just insane Yu-Gi-Oh cards for no reason. But let's go into the spells. Why only took up 2 Book of Moons, but then you also played 2 Econs and 2 Shrinks? Did you not find Book of Moon as versatile in certain situations as the other ones, or what's your mindset on that?
Look, I ain't gonna lie to you with them, like, after the fact of Nationals, I think I would have rather preferred 3 Book. And maybe dropped a Shrink or 2, I don't know, like, because the econs were really good. The econs actually won my Vayu matchup, like the one I played in Swiss, because of econ. Because I was sitting here like, he only has 500 left. Let's see what we can bait him. And I ended up baiting him. It was funny though, because I was like attack, because I just had Sam Knight on board. He had Armageddon Knight. He has 500 and he has 1 back row, and I'm just sitting here like, and I book in econ set, and I'm sitting here like, limit. I was like, I got this game no matter what. So I was like, swinging with Sam Knight. He's like deep prison. I'm like, I'll just book my Sam Knight. And then after all those resolve, I was like, econ, trip my Sam Knight, take your Armageddon Knight, kill you. I mean, I mean, the econ's dirty though. And also on the respite thing, I keep on thinking about playing around 40, but I mean, respite was really good. Like, because there's some hand, like, I bricked some of these games. Like, I was just really good on, like, of course, you play against Gladiator, Beast, they're kind of like oh, they're always going to set 3 and some kind of protection and, summon a monster. So there's sometimes I had to just like, they end up ripping me into more spells and traps. And also, they gave me something like, say, if I didn't see the chariot or I didn't have anything in graveyard, it was something really easy I could just add back.
Yeah, no, I
And it kind of
definitely.
like,
I will say I don't play Respite. I don't recommend Respite, but I am a Respite fan. It's just interesting that you chose two, towards it's either a three or a one. And the idea being that one, you only see it once, and then you never risk that drawing again, and you can just recycle with a questy. But with three, it maximizes the names because you have other respites that can use you for, the first respite. So it's just interesting to see you fall on two as opposed to one or three. But I totally understand. I've played my fair share of Gladiator Beast where you just have either a random conglomeration of names or like, I don't need this many cards. I wish I could have Chariot and D Prison. And then it gets you there sometimes.
yeah. I mean, of course, going forward with because I plan on attending more, more events and whatnot, going forward. This deck is, of course, going to evolve. I mean, of course, we're always evolving and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah. I just posted a video
You
on it.
one thing, I mean, but, I mean, some of the card choices, like, I mean, I also give credit to my buddy Terry because he actually built the deck, handed it to me, and was like, Mike, play my pretty deck. And I was like, all right. Because I was picking up Gladiator Beast anyway. Like, I had Gladiator Beast anyway, but he's like, oh, just play the pretty copy. And I was like, all right. But this was kind of like, most of the part, his build.
Yeah.
Like, the Respites and the Arabellum and stuff. And
Well, I
like,
guess that brings up a. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They did actually put in work, though.
Yeah,
But,
I believe it.
I
I
mean,
believe it.
especially, Shrimp catches people off guard, too. I mean, I wanted to live the dream, because every time I tried to resolve a Sam Knight, you know, there's always Raiko, or I would end up attacking into something that was just too big for me to kill.
Yeah,
And I
there's
was
always
like,
something.
I just want to live the dream and search a chariot.
Oh no, it's very powerful, and
But
I did get that off once, but it's like some people don't even recognize Sam Knight's effects. I had one guy just summon Armageddon Knight past. I was able to go Sam Knight attack, search out Chariot, and he's like, "Oh, so you're not tagging out?" I said, "No, I tag out after this, and then you're gonna lose even harder." So even though, listen, anyone who watches this, if you don't recognize Gladiator Beast as a threat, right? And I'm biased. I'm gonna say like a tier one threat. I truly believe that Gladiator Beasts are up on the same playable level. If you play at the top level, any Gladiator Beast deck can beat Blackwings, Frogs, Vayu, whatever, right? As a whole, maybe Gladiator Beast players as a whole don't do as well as the other decks based on pure numbers. One's going to rise to the top over the other. But I am a firm believer that Gladiator Beasts are just right up there with the other top decks. And it's astounding to me that even after the consistent tops that Gladiator Beasts have had since February, maybe, like tops, not just locals, like big event tops or wins even for some of the online stuff, people still don't know card effects. And I think that's astounding. I think if you're going to a big event, nationals, YCS, whatever it might be, you'd be silly not to one, know what every single effect does, two, know how to play against the deck. Like it should be on your radar at this point. So no, I definitely
I've
have seen people who just like have no idea what Sam Knight does.
or you have to explain card effects too. Like, you're like, this is what Sam Knight does, and I mean, some people know what, of course they know the big ones, Ready Ari and
Yeah.
Best Ari, but there's some people who will ask is like, oh, how strong is Laquari? You're like 2100.
Yeah. Yo,
And
shout out to my
or
round two opponent, Diva Hero guy, who, as we were getting close to time, decided that he forgot all of my monster effects and had to keep reading everything while he was ahead by 600 life points. Shout out to that guy. I was like, I don't know, man. It's the
yeah.
fourth time you've read Test Tiger, so it still does the same thing.
Oh
Anyways,
yeah, I have to explain that to people too, like, because I always try, like, say when I play, I always try to explain my cards. Like, I'll be like, like, I'll summon like Quest, and then I'll be like, especially on Test Tiger,
yeah,
priority tribute target. Let them know when it's targeting, so in case they have something to, like,
interrupt.
stop it.
Yeah,
And if they don't, like, I'm like, is that okay? And they're like, all right. So you just shuffle it back, and
yeah.
then you bring it out, and then they're like, I was like, yeah, you could have book a mooned if you wanted to, but that's the reason why I have to explain to you is like target.
Yeah, no, I had one
So
guy that was playing X Sabers at the YCS, and I summoned a monster, one of the Gladiator Beasts, Test Tiger, send it back to the deck to summon Murmillo. And when I special summoned the Murmillo, he tried to saber hole it, and I had to explain that you can't saber hole like in the middle of an effect. So your monster's destroyed, and I'm gonna tag in the bestiary to destroy that saber hole right afterwards. It was great. Your trap lineup
Yeah.
seems pretty standard. Nothing kind of jumps out at me at the moment. I will say I'm not a huge fan of Starlight Road anymore, but I definitely understand that Starlight Road can be insane. You're not running Secutor. I personally am not a fan of being on a Rescue Cat build with Test Tigers and having no Secutor. Is it just because it wasn't your build that you didn't have Secutor? I'm sure that there were a lot of moments where you thought, man, I wish I had Secutor that I could just summon right now.
Yeah, I can't lie about that either. I actually the weird thing at like the night before, actually not even the night before, because I don't know what was going on at the YCTS. There was somebody was like, oh, you guys need to have your deck list turned in by 4 p.m., which I thought it was turned in by 10 a.m.
Yeah.
or 9 a.m. on Saturday, and I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? So I'm sitting there like I just got done, I just got done with it. I came down, and it was like 3 o'clock, and I was like, oh crap, because I was planning on testing some more that night, so I could just turn on my deck list, and I was like, oh crap, that's the reason why some of my card choices are kind of like out there, because I mean I probably would have kept Secutor in, but I was like, but
Especially with
there's
the
like tournaments I
respites.
had problems where for some reason the turtle man likes to be in my hand, and I don't know why. I mean,
That's how
but
we all are.
I
That's
I
how we all
there's
are.
some parts I kind of oh yeah
And now that you're in the Discord group,
I
you'll see all of us complain. Except Josh, you'll see everyone else complain about how often they draw Secutor.
yeah I mean it's like
Secutor.
I love it. Like I love to see you on the field. I don't love to see you in my hand.
Yeah, it's not terrible though because it's still Gladiator Beast for Fusion, Test Tiger, and works with War Chariot in some situations where they might have an open field and it's your only Gladiator Beast and you're expecting like a I don't know, Gores or something like that. So it's good to know that you would like to toss that in there. And I guess I have two more questions, but the first one, let's hopping into the side deck. The only thing that really stands out to me, the Nobleman's over Ancient Forest, and then running the seven tools of the bandit is an interesting decision over maxing out Dust Rhino, or what I found to be an incredible card, Trap Stun. I think a lot of Gladiator Beasts are on Trap Stun right now. Why Nobleman and seven tools over anything else, really?
Oh, all right on Nobleman. I ain't gonna lie to you on that though. I didn't think about getting Ancient Forest, which I mean, of course, I'm picking them up. I'm
Nice,
picking them up
nice.
because I didn't have any, so I was kind of like, well, we'll play these knocks because I was thinking about playing against all the Ryko hamster, just variants in between, like the Vayu and the Amaryllis. But the weird thing is, all the Amaryllis is actually every Amaryllis I played actually end up they only play one Ryko or they don't play the hamster at all. So it was
Yeah,
kind of like a
yeah.
bad choice. Could have been Ancient Force. I mean, the funny thing was in my top four matchup, like to go into game three when I played against Vayu, like what was his name, Rick. I played against him. I had double. He ended up solving and I think it was it. Yeah, I think that's not the play. He ended up because I ended up having like two knocks, and I forget what was down. I think it was a Ryko or either one something. What it doesn't matter. It was like whatever monster it was, and I was like knock, and he was like solve, and then I had the other knock, and then I was like knock, and then ended up like taking that game to put the game three. But yeah, these could have been something else. I mean, ugh. Ancient Forest is way better than that, but and also the second, like the last copy of like the extra copy of Starlight Road.
Yeah.
I literally only sided against like the Twilight, like Lightsworn variants because of JD. That was the only reason.
JD
But other than
Celestia
that,
Heavy Storm. Yeah.
I could have played like Starlight Road could have been something else. But the seven tools actually were pretty clutch against like the Vayu decks and the Blackwing decks because I like my locals is like full of Blackwings and there's so many times it's like I was playing Trap Stun, but then at the last moment I decided I'm playing seven tools because most of my problems were with traps. I mean, and then plus in like the cool thing about seven tools is if you have seven tools, Chariot, like some other protection or whatever, you're basically safe because you're like okay, I'm not worried about going aggressive and make a guy Zaris to pop two of their cards because usually most of the time I had that happen where I mean this is where seven tools came in. It's either Oppression or Starlight Road one of the
Yeah.
two, and I hit oppressions with this thing, and like freaking torrentials and mirror forces. I mean, also another thing I thought about, I could probably play another copy of Trap Hole, because Trap Hole I was kind of regretting that this card was like really overperforming against Blackwings.
Oh
And
yeah,
also,
Trap Hole's been amazing for sure.
yeah, that actually is always like most of the games like it would just seal because I mean people don't expect it because you're just like Trap Hole.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it probably
no
wouldn't
one
be bad
expects
against
Trap
their
Hole.
mats either.
Yeah, I think a lot of people should be
Yeah.
on Trap Hole, to be honest with you, and just no one expects it. But so what I'm hearing, and you're also on 2 Chariot. Do you think you'd put in a 3rd Chariot in the side or main deck or something like that, especially while you're on respites?
Mm, that was a number I was working on before, which I probably would have played 3 Chariot with the 2 Respite if I had like a little more time to test beforehand because it's kind of like I got off work on Wednesday or whatever, woke up on Thursday, had all my stuff, boom,
No, it makes sense.
bolted down there, and then enjoyed the vacation and whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah, I probably play a 3rd Chariot with the Respite because I mean that's the best way to do it though because also they have to read Respite too.
Yeah. Yeah.
To you can shuffle back cards and it's like yes, any.
And then draw
I can
3.
even shuffle black Respite for Respite.
Mm-hmm.
Which I might try that in the future with the 3 Respite and try to max out my Gladiator cards.
Yeah, something that I personally want to try too, but I don't know if you saw my video. I'm going towards the Shallow Grave. And I'm sure you've seen us in the chat talk about it an awful lot. Big fan of that card. Definitely check it out.
Watching the video on that, that's interesting because it's like it doesn't matter if I give you a monster because I'm going to destroy it.
Yep. Hopefully it gets popped. Definitely a lot of ways to open that up. But, kind of, we talked about your matchups, talked about your list, and just to summarize some of the changes that you talked about, you would want to see Secutor inside, potentially one more Respite, definitely one more Book of Moon, find space for one more Chariot, whether it be main deck or side deck, depending on the Respite, and then drop the Noblemans for the Ancient Forest, and then maybe drop the Starlight for the 2nd Trap Hole.
Yes, because I mean, I don't know if we can main deck Ancient Forest because I don't play.
Some
Forest,
people do. Yeah.
It was kind of like I was in between main decking Gores or side decking Gores at least, and I was just like, if my build empty, I'm probably losing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like Gores. Gores has done more for me than I could possibly describe. But at this point, I think a lot of people play around Gores as they expected. So one guy, the Blackwing guy was playing, I had 2 cards in my hand, no field, and he just played around Gores. And sure enough, it was the card in my hand. He had no reason to play around it, but he did, and he won because of it. Gores would have absolutely destroyed him there at that point in time, but he played well and he got rewarded for it. But we're closing up on time, but anyways, hey, congratulations on your top. It's huge. Nearly 500 players getting top 4 with Gladiator Beast, continuing the, story that Gladiator Beast is a real deck that some players, even to this point, just fail to acknowledge them as being a real deck, which I think is very, very odd to say the least. Any final thoughts before we shut this out?
Hey, I mean, put the respect on them Gladiators. And,
oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta respect this deck in Edison. I mean, it's definitely a player's deck, like a pilot deck, not like there's any like brain dead plays in this deck. It's kind of like they're like
nothing is free.
All these traps, and it's like you gotta know when interactions to interrupt.
Yeah, nothing is free in this deck. That's for sure.
No, not at all. Them wins were hard earned.
Yeah, I believe it. Hey, thank you very much, and hopefully a lot of the viewers get something out of this. If anyone stays this long, like, comment, subscribe, leave comments, because that's what makes me want to keep making videos, and try to get a few more players on the channel and see if we can get some more conversation and ideas popping about Gladiator Beast moving forward. Mike, again, congratulations, and thank you very much for being on.
Thank you, sir. I'm enjoy being here.
All right.